Drunk Mythology friends. I'm Kate.
I'm Jen.
And I'm the other Jen.
And we're the
Drunk Mythology Gals.
Yeah, so this is...
Even traveling back in time, we still don't have it.
Yeah, this is...
Because that's what we're doing today,
We
right?
are. This is the redo of the first episode of Drunk Mythology Gals, because...
Who knows where that's from?
I don't, but...
You are old enough to know where that comes from, young lady.
It could have been your performance that isn't sparking the memory. I don't know.
Wayne's World.
Oh, of course I know Wayne's World, but I don't remember the do thing, whatever.
Okay, so maybe the visual, we don't have visuals, so you can't see me doing my little hand
Exactly.
waves up
So,
and
yeah.
down. So that would have been the real clincher you would have gotten.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So we're redoing
episode 1 redo.
We're
I'm
redoing
just
episode
jumping
1
in.
because we wanted to bring in other Jen as our new co-host.
Yeah, and we're definitely not regretting that right now.
Not in the least.
at all.
And we have a better sound set up. So we kind of know what we're doing, sort of. And we have Kim Alexander, who is doing our sound. And yeah, she's...
Kim, can you put in the actual Wayne's World sound?
No, she
if
cannot.
that's
She is
not,
a professional and doesn't
copyrighted?
have time for this.
No, we're done. No more Wayne's World talk.
So...
Moratorium.
But do not worry, just like the Greeks are cool with having multiple origin stories, so are we. So we didn't throw out the original episode 1. We just moved it to our Patreon, plus it's ad-free there. So if you're feeling somewhat sadistic or masochistic, depending which side of the whip you land on, you can go there and listen to original Jen and I struggle through podcasting for the first time.
Yeah.
And see, that's a great opportunity for Kim to insert a little whip sound.
Oh, God, I can see where this one's going. Okay, so
Oh no.
that's...
Hey, you're the one who wrote drunk in the title. First word there, lady.
All right, you know what? Literally, since we're going back to the beginning, welcome to part 1 of the Greek origin myths. And I love saying part 1 because it triggers original Jen so much.
Yeah, it does.
Because
it's
there are
such a big story.
there are so many parts.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so...
It's never ending.
Well, I mean, it does. It's just got a lot of moving parts to it.
And then it's like, oh, let's talk about like this part. Oh, and let's like, what if it happened this way though, or this way? Like, there's 3 versions of the same story. I have opinions.
And we will get to that in the questions and shit section.
All right. So what are we drinking? Jen, are you on anything alcoholic even remotely today?
You know what? Water is used in a lot of alcoholic products, so it is just pre-alcohol.
I love it.
You are a sophist.
It is room
This
temperature water. is what I'm
sophistry.
drinking.
I finished off a bottle of Pinnacle. Hello, Pinnacle. Add with us. We'll record it. Shit.
Raspberry.
What
You
flavor
were
is this?
drinking raspberry.
Raspberry. Thank you. Yeah, I said that right before we started. Yeah.
Yep. I am
raspberry.
drinking the delicious Trader Joe watermelon cucumber.
Again?
Yep. And it has a wee nippy of gin in it. Again. Because I'm still
Okay.
out of vodka.
All right.
So
That's right, because I got drunk and forgot to text your husband.
that's right. You were going to remind him to go get vodka. But anyway.
Yeah. With that, our disclaimer: do not drink and drive cars, chariots, 8-legged horses, whatever.
Wayne's
Like,
World drum sets.
Wayne's
Yeah.
World.
Just say
Wayne's
no.
World.
So
Water coolers.
let's get started. A long time ago, when the world was young. All right. So pretty much everything we know about how the ancient Greeks thought the universe popped into being comes from this guy, Hesiod. He wrote something called the Theogony. And yes, I've read it multiple times. And yes, I know it sounds like the agony and the ecstasy, but it's really Theogony.
I hear the word theology when you
It's-
say that. My brain triggers theology.
It has that whole similar family root thing going, because according to Merriam-Webster, theogony means an account of the origin and descent of the gods. So technically, any story that describes a creation and a genealogy is a theogony.
So can I write a theogony about my creation and genealogy?
If you consider yourself a divine presence, yeah, sure.
Oh, absolutely. I
So-
will go right back to that trailer park in Kentucky.
There you go. So it's all pretty straightforward. And Hesiod really just calls it like it is. He's like, yep, I'm writing a story of how the world and gods came into exist. So I will call it a story about how the world and gods came to exist. I have some opinions about Hesiod's lack of imagination and need to repeat things, but we'll get there.
So let me pause you a second. When we talk about the Norse stuff, I'm constantly saying it's written by 10-year-old boys.
And they wrote a
Hesiod.
theogony.
Okay. And so this guy, Hesiod, he's like a one-man show?
He
like
is a one-man
authority?
show. He is a one-man show. But he's not the only show in town.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Hesiod wrote some other shit, but it's not relevant and no one really cares except for super nerds like me. So let's just brush aside those classics. However, fun fact, he was a contemporary of Homer, the guy who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. But that's not saying
I'm glad
much.
you clarified that. That is not Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
but-
that's exactly who I was thinking of.
Well,
Thank you.
okay, so this still isn't telling us much that we can really, put a pin in, because as far as we can tell, we think that Hesiod was alive and dictating his shit to some poor scribe somewhere between 750 and 650 BCE, and Homer was alive around the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Got
Okay.
There's probably some poor intern.
Well, yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, there's so much to unpack there, because, fun fact, there is a 4th century BCE fictional account of Homer and Hesiod going head to head in a rapping contest.
What?
And I'm not going to
Well-
tell you who won. I am going to save that for the Patreon episode.
Okay. So, but you say 4th century, so that's like 200 years later?
Yeah, it would basically
Am I
be like
Doing that math correctly?
Yeah, because it would be the equivalent of
Oh, but you said it's a fictional
it's a
account.
fictional account. So it's
Okay,
like,
so okay, got it.
it'd be the fan fiction of Mozart and Salieri rapping, like,
Oh,
I want that fan fiction.
Mozart and Salieri in 8 Mile.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Trailer Park
all
Vienna. So
I know who Mozart
Oh.
is. I understand 8 Mile. That for anyone who doesn't, that's Eminem. But I don't know who
Salieri was a jealous bitch of Mozart.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Also, fun fact number 2, or possibly 3, I'm losing track of them. Hesiod was born in a region of Greece called Boeotia, and that is a region in central Greece known for 2 things: eels and the city of Thebes. And
The
Definitely what you
city
wanna be known
of
for.
thieves, like
Thebes.
people who rob.
no,
Thebes.
Thebes. B as in boy, like 10-year-old boy.
But you know what? I
All
bet they had thieves who were stealing all of the eels.
right?
I am regretting this.
I mean,
so
it's loving
much.
us.
I
It
am
is loving
regretting this
this.
so much. So,
A city of people stealing shit.
well, you keep
Are
tempting.
you regretting bringing me in here now?
Yes.
if it was borderline before, we've fallen off on one side of the fence, and it's not the good side.
We're on one side of the whip. But
Come on, Kim, don't let me down.
okay, according to the Athenians, the Boeotians were super dull. And considering that Hesiod and Plutarch came from Boeotia, they're not wrong. I'm just saying. If you've ever had to read Hesiod and Plutarch, and I have, not the most exciting. Anyway.
I mean, I'm struggling with these names.
Right. Well, you're going to continue to struggle because the most important thing that you must keep in mind at all times is that the ancient Greeks never just had one story for anything that happened in the creation myths. There was always at least two stories, if not three versions that existed side by side. And nobody was really all that pushed about it, like whichever one you wanted to believe.
Oh, so I have a tangent of that, a parallel.
Surprise.
So I was raised in a Protestant, very devoutly religious upbringing.
Mhm.
There's your little peek behind the curtain into my life. All my life. And somewhere in my mid to late 20s, not going to go down this rabbit hole of story, but I converted to Catholicism.
Mhm.
We can do the Patreon if somebody really cares. And it wasn't until then that I learned that there is in the Bible two different creation stories.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Most Protestants that I've encountered are clueless to that. They do not realize there are two different accounts of the creation story in the Bible.
Yeah.
Two.
Well, the Catholic Bible has a lot more books also.
Oh, this is all in Genesis.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to read them.
Yeah. The
So,
Apocrypha.
anyway, let's get started. In the beginning, there was only dark, shapeless nothingness with a totally goth emo chaos brooding over it. Or, in the beginning, night laid an egg that then became either her son or her father or the world, depending on which variation of that myth you go with. It's literally the decision tree from hell. So,
wow.
Therefore, we're going to stick with Hesiod for today.
And which story is Hesiod?
Hesiod is emo goth chaos.
Okay.
I like it. Anything with chaos, I'm a fan of.
Right? I immediately think Loki.
Surprise.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the beginning.
Falling into Camp Norse. I'm sorry.
Chaos is
Me too.
moping about the fact that he has to clean his room because everything in the universe is just a giant nothing mess. And
So he's a teenage female.
or a teenage boy. All the disordered elements and nothingness sloshing around in the shapeless dark. But suddenly, chaos gives birth to night and Erebus. Cue the Jurassic Park biology issues. But now it's obvious who Night, or Nyx, as she's called, is, but Erebus is darkness. So if you separate the concept of day and night and light and dark, night requires darkness. So Night and Erebus have to be born together, right?
So this is not night being an absence of light.
This is night being night, and
night is an actual thing.
and Erebus is the darkness.
Okay.
But Erebus could also be known as the darkness between Earth and the underworld. Erebus is also known as Tartarus, which is also known as Hades, the place you go when you die. But Hades is an actual Olympian god, so there's just a lot wrong there. So let's just go with Erebus is darkness.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been drinking.
Yep.
So
Whatever you
I
say.
follow
Nothing.
I follow a smidgen.
All right. I forget what number fun fact this is, but the correct pronunciation of Erebus shows how similar it is to the Indo-European root language word for darkness, which is Regvis, which is similar to Rikvis in Old Norse.
Mhm.
I'm hearing Ragnarok.
I'm just saying, nothing
Sorry.
is new.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But don't worry. If you are confused right now, it gets worse. So,
Oh dear.
Night and Erebus, being brother and sister, or possibly mother and son, depending, naturally do what all families do in mythology. They commit incest.
Oh, no. Damn it. I knew you were going there.
It's always incest.
Yeah, but not just any incest.
Wait, Jen, do the Norse get into the incest?
Of course.
Oh, damn.
But
All
it's
right.
not just any
Okay.
incest. They get it on, and Night, well, hang on. I will let Aristophanes describe the biology. Original Jen, you want to read the little quote?
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad she
Black
picked you.
winged night into the bosom of Erebus dark and deep laid a wind-born egg, and as the seasons rolled forth sprang love, the longed for shining with wings of gold.
Okay, so yes, some of the language is really pretty, but don't let it
Mhm.
obscure the part about a wind egg and how Night laid that wind egg into Erebus's chest.
Oh my God. Wind, and that just this egg appears.
Well, so did she fart into his thoracic
God.
cavity? I mean,
Okay, yeah.
there are so many things going on with that I just don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
she
this
was like
Heim-
a
what's-
dandelion, like when they like a little like the thing, like when it gets fluffy, and then like little things, the little seeds fly on the wind,
But it
and that's like
landed in his chest.
Well, yeah,
in
so
his
it floated
bosom.
in the air and then landed there.
I'm
planted itself.
Thinking
I don't see a problem here. I find this perfectly logical.
Hesiod's 10 years old.
He might have been. We don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so from this goddamn wind egg were born Day and Light.
Call it what it is. It's a fart egg.
It's a divine fart of creation, which is kind of fitting, seeing as Day and Light came from night and darkness. But wait, there's more. While chaos was being all emo, Earth was like, oh, hi, I exist. Earth is also known as Gaia, and there was no explanation of how she came to be. Hesiod was just like, boom, here's the Earth. It's pretty nifty.
Oh. Yeah, it's typical, you're saying Earth is female, been there all along, carrying the load, doing the work, no recognition, no acknowledgement.
Oh, if you get pissed about this, just wait. So same with Tartarus, who is, again, not to be confused with Erebus or Hades, and Eros. And there are legit 3 versions of Eros that are all accepted in mythology. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Think of this version of Eros as the primordial drive to procreate.
Now, Eros is which?
Okay, so let's review. We have Chaos, who gave birth to Night and Erebus. Also popping into existence with Chaos alongside him are Gaia, Tartarus, and Eros.
Okay.
But this Eros isn't like the little Cupid dude. This is like the propagate the species. Okay.
He's the Dom.
Angry Eros.
Yeah, it's just like must procreate. Now, Gaia, being the only female, obviously ended up having to do the majority of the work.
Yep.
She had to create Uranus, the heavens, Aurea, the mountains, Pontus, the seas, and then have sex with all of them to produce the rest of goddamn creation.
Oh my God.
And
little G.
For today, we're just going to take a look at why Gaia and Uranus's relationship should really teach us that sex ed matters. Quality sex ed is important.
Oh my goodness.
So it was a Thursday night after work, and Gaia and Uranus were out having a couple of drinks, and one thing led to another, and they woke up hungover on Friday morning, awkward, and wondering if they remembered to use protection. They didn't.
Of course.
Gaia got knocked up with duodecaplets, 12 kids.
Okay.
They ended up being the Titans. 12 Titans.
When I'm sober, I'm going to have to look that word up.
duodecaplets.
Sure.
And the youngest one was Kronos. Put a pin in him.
Oh, I've heard that name.
Yeah. So apparently you don't just give birth to duodecaplets when you are Gaia. You also give birth to 3 creatures known as the Cyclopes. Other Jen?
In addition to the 12.
In addition to the 12. So we're up to 15. Other Jen, would you read this charming passage?
Yeah, I'll try. Is there difficult words?
No,
We'll
it's
see.
very...
Okay. All right. In all else, they were like the gods, but one eye only was set in the midst of their foreheads, and they were surnamed Cyclopes, orbed eye, because one orbed eye was set in their foreheads.
So
oh my God,
really, really wants us to know they have only one eye in the middle of their forehead. We get it.
I think it could have been clarified better.
Oh my God. Even drunk, I got it. One eye, middle of the forehead.
Right? And in a lesson about why incest is bad that apparently no one in mythology ever learned, Gaia and Uranus also produced another 3 monsters called the Hecontocheires.
So I'm up to 18. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're gonna have to break that word down for me. I know you're all into the roots of these words.
Yeah, the Hecontocheires, those I don't know that
go too deep in the weeds.
Well, that's a etymology that has to do with just wait and see. They were really big and strong, and each one had 100 heads. I'm sorry, 100 hands and 50 heads.
Okay. What? Oh my God.
So I don't math, but I think that makes 300 hands and 150 heads.
Yep. I'm the math person.
So if I got that right,
oh my God.
That actually goes back to Heka is you've had like hectares and it relates to the enormous amount of So either Hesiod or just the ancient Greeks in general had daddy issues. Big daddy issues.
They have lots of issues.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're just going to put the incest aside because there's so much incest. We're just going to have to,
Well, when you have a limited,
gene
pool of people to pick from.
Yeah. Nope. Anyway, Uranus is truly a shitty dad.
Okay. Like Odin?
I was going to say, I feel like every dad in mythology is a terrible
Pretty
dad.
much.
Yeah,
and he did not want to play peekaboo or this little piggy with the Hecontocheires because, again, he'd be playing peekaboo with 150.
150.
I mean, can we blame him?
Oh my God.
This little piggy with 300 hands.
Oh my God.
I think he saw that and was just like, nope.
Well,
nope.
And the question this begs for me is, but they only had 2 legs?
That's okay. Yeah. See, I was thinking that as you were verbalizing
but do they have legs at all? They didn't specify.
Oh, God damn it. Now
is that
my brain
spelled out somewhere?
Maybe the arms are the legs.
Well,
see, now I'm picturing this thing doing
like a
handstand.
Yeah.
And the legs
it's like
are
original Jen's role is basically to ruin everything for me. And I love her so deeply for it. But okay, so Uranus really hated the Hecontocheires, and he literally locked them in their rooms, which is a secret place deep in the earth. But if Earth is Gaia, then why? I mean, the lapse in logic.
So did he I don't want to say it.
It's a lot of mouths to feed.
I went there in my brain. I know what you're thinking, where he might have locked them, but Yeah.
It's like
What-
try to do a return.
I'm sorry. Who's breastfeeding these?
Oh my God.
Because I know they didn't have bottles of formula.
150.
150. Yeah. Oh.
And plus another 15. Just
Yeah. Oh my God.
165 to nurse. This is bad. Anyway.
Again, 10-year-old boy.
Yeah. So Uranus also really hated the Cyclopes because he thought they were ugly because apparently they only had one eye in the middle of their forehead.
I'll take the one-eyed guys over the...
Yeah. So he
Oh
he didn't give a fuck about the Titans either, but he let them roam around as well. But he was like, no, you Hekontokieres, you go to your rooms and stay there. Don't want to see you.
Forever.
Oy.
But Gaia was not having this shit. So first, she motherfucking created the mineral of gray flint.
Okay.
And then she fashioned a sickle from it.
Oh, I see where she's going now. Okay.
Then she called a family meeting, minus Dad, who was probably hanging out with his shady Uncle Erebus in the meth lab in Tartarus. Mama Gaia sat all her kids down and explained that while sometimes mommies and daddies need some time apart but still love their kids, this was not the case here. This mommy wanted daddy dead, and the first kid to off him gets to stay up an extra 15 minutes past bedtime.
And ice cream for a bedtime snack.
Exactly. Most of the kids were like, yeah, gotta wash my hair that day. Except for one, the Titan Cronus.
Yay.
And that's where I'm leaving it today because I'm evil.
What? No.
Yeah.
What?
So we'll be right back with questions and shit.
Oh, I've got questions.
Hey, Drunk Mythology friends. I'm Kate.
And I'm the other Jen. Wait, where's original Jen this time?
Original Jen is busy cleaning out Sleipnir's stall. I mean, with 8 legs, who knows how many stomachs that horse has? Or is that cows?
I think you're thinking of cows because that was one of our trivia questions in that trivia game we're testing out behind the scenes. And I think the cows have 8 stomachs, or was it 4? I don't know. I got that question wrong.
Well, no matter how many stomachs, she's not here, but we are here to tell you about Anchor for podcasting.
With no cow stomachs.
Not unless you want to do a podcast about cows, which you totally could because it's super easy to start a podcast with Anchor.
Is there a platform for cows to listen? Like, could cows even listen to a podcast?
Anchor would distribute your Cowcast across all popular podcast platforms.
How did we get onto cows?
Because we were wondering how many stomachs a horse has, or was it cows? Regardless, feeding all those stomachs costs money, which means you have to make money off your Cowcast, which is why Anchor is a great place to start because you can start making money from the get-go with Anchor.
But how much does it cost? Like, okay, how many smoothies does Fenrir have to sell in order to pay for his podcast about smoothies? Oh my God, I'm so drunk today.
Wait, I thought Fenrir was doing a podcast about cows. Or was it horses?
No.
Yeah, I might be a little drunk too. Either way, it is totally free to have a podcast on Anchor. Free, free.
Yeah, my fan fiction has Fenrir running his own smoothie shop, and I work there.
Yeah. Other Jen is talking about original Jen's books, Truth and Other Lies, and The Order of Chaos, which you should all check out under her pen name of Lyra Wolf. And yeah, Wolf,
Yeah.
Fenrir, yeah.
Yeah. So if I want to do a podcast for Fenrir, all I'd have to do is go to anchor.fm to get started, because I'm like totally thinking that OG and I need to do that.
Yep. Just go to Anchor, like the thingy on a boat thingy that goes to the bottom. Shut up.
Yeah, we're drunk.
Yeah, it's ANCHOR.FM. You're just lucky I didn't spell out anchovy because it was a close call. Check it out or make Fenrir sleep near and all the cows and their stomachs really upset. Boom.
Oh my God, Kate. I think this is our best ad ever.
Indubitably. Because, yeah, we put the drink into drunk mythology gals. Okay, welcome back to Questions and Shit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I don't even know where to start.
Well, I can suggest something. Uranus should have used protection.
Okay, there's that. I mean, you'd think you'd.
Is that really a question, though?
Well, that's the in shit part.
Okay.
That's assuming that Ornos has some, intelligence. Does Ornos have any intelligence?
I don't know.
What
I
do
mean,
is Ornos crafty, sneaky? I mean, we hear
well,
Odin thinks things through.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what's interesting
to a
about
fault.
these like early like primordial gods is that while they do have like parts of anthropomorphic appearances, and like the Cyclopes and the Hekontokeres have they have more agency, like Gaia and Uranus and Chaos and Nyx and Erebus. Those are all more like they are more like natural forces. So, you don't have the original primordial Eros having a lot of dialogue, and you don't have the original ocean or seas Pontus having like a lot of dialogue in early mythology. But like, they're there because honestly, reading the Theogony is kind of like reading the parts in Genesis and in the early Old Testament where it's like so and so begat so and so begat so and so.
Begats.
Yeah, it's the begats. And that kind of actually makes me wonder if like parts of the book of Genesis could qualify as a theogony. Because I mean, if it's the genealogy of the gods, I mean, yeah, it's only one god, but if angels are also divine creatures, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
And man is created in the image of God. Like, I could make an argument for it, but then again, I'd probably be shot down by somebody who's actually a biblical scholar. So I'm just going to go back to like hating on Uranus because he doesn't want to pay child support.
Right. Okay, so I had a thought. Jen's going to love this, OG. How much fun would Fenrir have with these Hector the whatevers throwing a ball and him fetching?
Oh my God.
I was more thinking how many hands would he bite off, but that's just me.
No, I'm thinking how many belly rubs. He'd be he would be all over this. They would get along with Fenrir so awesome, right? And he would just bring them all smoothies.
He would. See, it's all the monsters of all the mythologies. They all
150 smoothies.
Yeah. One for every hand.
And I will, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'm just going to leave you with the thought that whenever I see the word Cronus, for some reason, I always think of cronuts.
I think of a croissant.
You know what, though? I think he'd like that because he doesn't
He
even
is
have
a
a
bit
thing
of a
with
foodie,
food.
but we'll talk about
Is
that
he?
next time.
Okay.
Yeah, he has very particular tastes, though, in food.
You know, Jen, that's a
Oh.
step too far. That is just a step too far.
Is he a picky eater? What am I getting into here?
I want to spoil this so badly.
Oh.
No.
He's not biting hands off of his best friend, though, is he? Oh,
I mean-
shit. You're not
I'm considering whether he
hands are
actually would. I
involved.
mean, if the situation called
Is it
for
worse
it,
than that?
There
it
are
worse?
hands involved.
it depends how the hand was prepared.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
And how many hands are we talking about?
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Oh.
You know, cover them with a little hollandaise sauce.
You know, this is this is getting to a point where I am either going to be truly disturbed or just like go jump off into the
makes
deep
me
end of
think
this rabbit hole.
So it makes me think of like that old like llamas with hats.
Oh god.
YouTube
I've
thing.
seen this.
Llama. You've never seen llamas with hats?
I have seen
Okay.
it. That's what I was saying.
Okay,
I've seen
yeah.
this. Yes.
It's
Kate,
like
is
only a
Carl.
craving, only a craving that hands could satisfy.
Oh my god. Yeah. And with you talking about, put a little hollandaise sauce, I'm
Yeah.
going back to, culinary school, and I'm like hearing my chef yell at me, I need 150 egg hollandaise. And I'm
Would
like,
that be
"Oh,
wind egg
fuck."
holidays?
Oh, see, it
Fart
fits. So
egg.
see, I think that proves that hollandaise would be the proper soft sauce to serve with hands.
And on that note,
Oh my goodness. Oh.
I'm not even going to ask if we're drunk. Because, yeah.
But that was disturbing.
Oh,
yeah.
very.
So, Jen, next week.
Oh.
Yeah, next week then will be part 1 of the Norse origin myth. And I don't know why it's you got into this script. I think there's only one, like there's no part 1. It's just the myth because the Norse did not have to make 10,000 versions of a thing. They got it down, they said it. Let's move on.
But, variety is the spice of life.
Sure, keep telling yourself
whatever.
that.
Okay. Don't forget to add yourselves to our social media scrolls, especially the Instagram account that I run, which is Drunk Mythology Gals.
Or on Twitter at Drunk Myth Gals.
OG has us both beat on Twitter, doesn't she? Because
Not
I'm sitting here on Facebook at Drunk Mythology Gals, still sitting in the single digits at the time we're recording this.
Well.
Help me out, people.
You can also take a look at our website that is ever evolving at drunkmythologygals.com.
Or Patreon at patreon.com/drunkmythologygals.
Or drop us an email at drunkmythologygals@gmail.com.
And thanks again for joining us. Please subscribe, leave a rating or review, and tell your friends and family about us, especially if they've laid a giant wind egg and you want to let them know it's not okay.
Fart egg.
Finally, always remember, if the gods can behave badly, so can you.